Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to episode 369, nice, of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly gaming podcast for words about games. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, and I'm joined this week by, I thought of something this morning, like a nickname, to say it to you, and then be like, it's the such and such one, definitely, and I forgot it. It's Daffy Moody.
Diddly doodly do, everyone. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's video game day.
It's video game day.
Joy day.
The holiest of all days.
The holiest of holiest days. Bigger than Jesus' resurrection. Bigger than Moses separating the sea. Bigger than all of that.
I've done cooler shit than that in a video game. So they can both suck it.
It's bigger than God creating the earth in 7 days, apparently.
6. He took a nap on day 7.
Yeah, apparently. That's what the thing is. Yeah, that is, yeah. He did it in 6 days and he took a nap on the 7th.
Respect.
Yeah. Maybe that's why we're all. That's maybe why the human race is crazy.
Yeah,
it was a nap on the 7th.
No. See, I like where your thinking's at, but my thinking is he crunched to get it done, and that's why everything's going wrong. It's too many bugs,
maybe
undocumented bugs in the code.
Oh, so you're saying you should have took 8 days?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should have taken his time, delayed the release, so he could get that polish level in.
So yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
I think we've pissed someone off somehow by what we just said there.
Well, not like last week.
Wait, we pissed someone off last week?
Oh, yeah, we pissed people off last week.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so not sorry.
No, I mean, no, of course not.
What?
I mean, yeah, of course we're not sorry.
Oh, okay.
Fuck those people.
Whiny little babies. Oh, the big babies.
Yeah.
Big babies. Oh, bless them. How are you?
Yeah, okay. Not bad.
I didn't forget this time. I didn't even put a note up. I just.
Oh wow, that was completely by memory.
Yep, all by memory.
Character development.
Character development at long last. It only took 37 years.
No, yeah, it was an interesting week. Like, so the heat wave happened. Finally caught up to us.
Oh, it finally hit you, did it?
Only for a couple of days, but it was still a horrible couple of days.
I think it's funny that you say it finally hit you, but it already hit like my mother and like my brother and his wife and everything, who are not far from you. So I'm just like, did it just like skirt around you?
Maybe I just have better ventilation. I have to keep the room cool when I've got multiple like computers, consoles, and lights and everything on pointed at me. So like I just have a better cooling system than everybody else. But like no, it was, and it just started cooling off on the Saturday night, right? So I was like, finally, I could open the window and like get some slightly cooler air in, at least move the air around. And I was like, okay, everybody, they're all in their gardens. Like all my neighbors are all in their gardens. Fine, I was expecting that. They that's what they do. That's their one pastime. They hang out in their gardens. Anyway, I went in the shower. I came back out. Fuckers had lit. They've got a fire pit in their garden.
Nice.
Lit the fucking fire pit. I was like, guys, it's a heat wave.
Do you actually want to die?
Like, so I got the hot air coming up through the window. I got the fucking smoke coming in through the window, and I was just like, "Oh man, this fucking what? Why?
Why do you hate me?
Why do you hate me? It's not fair." Oh, but yeah, I've spent the past week. So like, just as the like versus dislike war on last week's podcast died down, then obviously the big news of this week broke. So
cool.
Been fun. You piss some people off by laughing at them.
Tell the truth. And laughing at them.
Yeah. And then that's what happens. You get some entertainment out of it.
Oh, the poor big babies.
I know.
The big babies.
Elfie left a comment on last week's podcast, which was fun. It was funny to me. I didn't reply to it on the actual video. She said, what was it? She said, "Well, would you say this about skin tones?" And I was like, I don't really want to. I don't really want to tell. She clearly doesn't know about that. That actually happened once.
Oh, I've just seen a comment.
So-
Nice comment.
So I was like, it's a great comment, but
that is spicy.
I didn't want to tell her that. Yes, that's actually happened before. You can live in it.
No, but you don't hear them complaining about that anymore.
No, not anymore. No. Yeah,
So
we'll see what
decided
happens.
So gamers just decided to move on to something else,
Mm.
equally as pathetic. Interesting.
Yes, one might say they are, in fact, pathetic themselves. Go ahead, hit that dislike button. I don't really give a shit. Moody, how are you doing?
A bit up and down, but overall, I'm fine.
Wee. Like a fun up and
No,
down.
my ADHD
Like
has just been
a really fun up and down. No.
No, I wish.
Okay.
I wish. My ADHD's been a pain in the ass. That's all, as always. So,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah,
That sucks.
nothing else. Good fun news is I had my 1 year anniversary at work this week.
I
which
saw
was
your
fun.
post, yeah.
Yeah, which was fun. I'm really proud of that.
Was there a cake?
So, no, there was no cake.
But what? Were there party hats?
No, there was no party hat.
Did you at least get like a card? Or?
I got a congratulations, a pat on the back.
A pat on the back?
Yeah, by the people who remembered or
Like-
saw the Charlie saw the calendars come up saying, "Oh, Moody's anniversary."
Like a limp pat on the back? Or like a firm pat on the back?
Or like that, but
Attaboy!
No. I'm really happy with 1 year anniversary. It's flown over like crazy, and yeah, I'm looking forward to many more years at the place I'm at. Got a lot of things coming down the pipeline, which is really fun. And
Well, in honor of your 1 year anniversary, Moody, I'm going to ask you this. You played anything good lately? You played anything good lately? Bringing it back for one day only.
one day only, yeah.
But no, seriously.
That's
have you
for
played
you to
anything good
find
lately?
out.
That is
when
just,
we
yeah.
release them.
That is for me to find out. You're correct.
But did you play anything good lately, Amy?
Yeah. Played the dinosaur game.
I didn't mean that.
I know you didn't.
Bite me.
Was it before we started recording when you said I'm not asking you to bite anything?
It was before.
Damn. Yeah. Ow. It's gonna come back squeaking.
Oh yeah, it is.
There it is. For our audio listeners, Moody took the toy off of his dog Adora because it was making a lot of noise, and his resolve lasted 8 minutes. And there's Adora. She's scared of me, I think. Now she's on the same level as the keyboard. Well, this could get
Settle
interesting.
down, girl. Come on. Aye, no bitey.
Welcome to the podcast, Adora.
We need to get the numbers up in a good way. So dogs.
Dogs. No one can dislike dogs, right?
Yeah, I should give daddy kisses.
Aw. Our audio listeners are getting shortchanged this week.
Don't drop from this height, please. Mommy will not like me anymore.
Father, release me!
Too hard,
Freedom!
I wanted freedom.
Legs outstretched.
I was wrong.
Just
It's really funny. So, when I was at work on Tuesday, when I got home, my partner was just like, she scared the living shit out of me. My nightmare almost came true. And I was saying, what do you mean your nightmare almost came true? And she was like, the nightmare, I was thinking, she's going to jump out the window or fall out the windows and everything like that. I said, Sophia, she's tiny. Even at full grown, she probably won't be able to jump up on it. All right. Well, in her playpen, when I'm hoovering, She was literally climbing it. And my playpen right now is next to the window, so she just automatically thought if she was on the other side. So as a typical male, I took the piss out of this and went, "Do you mind?"
I'm trying not to complain, but
Stop it! Get off! Yeah, you look at my feet.
tell the internet that.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh wait, only one of us
big
has
baby.
posted pics with their feet in them, I suppose.
That's true. That's true.
You can
Where
look at
was I?
mine.
Yeah, I was taking the piss out of her, so I was just saying, yeah, just imagine she'll hit it and she'd just go.
Oh, like a comedy tumble.
And
Okay.
Sophia didn't appreciate that.
Mine was like a glide, like a slow motion glide.
Dude.
Exactly.
And then I was just like, why didn't you take a video of her and post it on TikTok with the song "I Want to Break Free"?
You say
She didn't like that either.
you say you're not an influencer, but you definitely have an influencer's mindset.
Maybe,
Fucking views out of this, man. What are you doing?
I know, that's what I'm saying to her. The views. Now give us 2
views.
seconds. I need to take this toy off. Ow! She just clawed my foot.
She heard you.
Yeah. Get off. 2 seconds.
Yeah, sure, yeah. I mean, he's bending down. He's throwing the ball. He doesn't seem to realize that all that's going to happen is the ball. Ah, there we go. It's a trick. Now the ball's going to come back. This is a pattern that has been repeated for many minutes before the podcast started. I commentated. I didn't know what else to do.
Video this week is good, people. Watch it.
Video's good. Yeah, sorry, audio listeners. You're missing some peak content.
Yeah, you met my dog.
Actually, no, I'm sick of using. I use the word content by default. This isn't content.
This is gloriousness.
This is. Yeah, I don't know what this is, but it's not content.
We'll figure out a word. The word has not been invented yet.
The word
but
we haven't
will find
invented.
it.
We haven't invented the word yet.
Yeah.
I'm appreciating the fact that you still have the same number of displays on your wall that you did last week.
I couldn't be bothered to put them back up.
No, I checked now because obviously they keep disappearing.
You just waiting. So which one's going to fall next out of these ones? Is it going to be this one?
I think
this one?
I think it's going to go completely off. It's going to be like the God of War one. It's not going to go in sequence. It's going to be like a completely random one.
Joy. Good to know.
That would be my bet.
Sounds about right.
I did play Bramble. Yes, you're right. Well, I finished it.
Yeah, you finished Bramble.
Played it for an hour. Most of that was me stuck on the final boss fight.
That is true. That is true, no doubt about that. You were stuck on the final boss.
Just a bit.
Bit.
I didn't want to write a review because I feel like that would be weird. Like,
yeah, I don't want you to.
You don't want to sit here and listen to me to talk about Bramble when you just have to sit there and listen. Can imagine you don't want that.
No, God, no. Yeah, that was very interesting.
It's a very good game.
I was suggesting, did you enjoy it?
I did, yes. I really liked the atmosphere.
I know you had problems with the bosses and everything like that. I agree with you. On the bosses.
I liked the ideas of the bosses.
Yeah.
Without liking necessarily the execution of the mechanics to fight the bosses.
Yeah. I think the only real personally good boss fight is the Neckin.
That's
the water one.
The water one, yeah.
The first one, not the maiden.
Yeah. The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, Little Mermaid. We'll call it that.
Found some videos after I was finished.
Oh God, Jesus, yeah. I forgot to tell my team about that. Oh shit.
Oh, there's your reminder.
Thank you.
But yeah, no. Yeah, it was really, really enjoyable. I liked it. Like I said, after I'd finished it, it made me want to buy a Swedish folklore fairy tales book.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really good. I like the atmosphere, the world, I love the part with the water necking. That was it. Yeah, that was great.
That's really kind, that one. Like, it was the demo. It was the demo that was out there for a long time. So if anyone's played it, they know what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
no, it's the bit from the demo. It was the perfect thing to stream and just be like, oh god, no, but like, genuine. I wasn't faking it or whatever. It's genuinely an unnerving game, and I like the deaths are really funny. Like they got really creative with the deaths.
Yeah. I still think it's funny that you broke the game.
I broke the game. I've died in places I don't think Mooney's ever seen anyone die in.
No, I have seen it. I think there's one part. I think I was thinking, how have you done that? I think there was one part, but yeah, for the most part. No.
I died before the game really started, and I died after the final boss fight when there was no more challenges left to face. This is why I don't play games very much on Twitch. Like, oh, why didn't you stream Bloodborne? That's why.
That's why, motherfuckers.
I want to keep up like the veneer that I may be okay at video games because I can talk about them. The more I expose you to how bad I am at video games, the more you'll distrust my opinion about video games. Because I'm fucking terrible at them.
You're not that bad, Amy. You're not that.
Oh yeah. I am. When I can cause one of the game's QA testers to go, "How have you done that?" I feel like, yeah, I'm pretty bad at video games. But no, it was fun. It was a fun stream actually. But yes, Bramble, good game. Good game. Check it out. It's on Game Pass.
Game Pass, yep.
It is on
Game Pass on PlayStation 5, on the PlayStation, on everything. It is absolutely on everything.
It's everywhere.
Check it out.
Go get it. So, Mooney, shall we start?
Let us begin.
We're postponing the main story. And instead, we're going to review a game. Not Bramble.
Yeah. No, not that one. No. We're going to review Goodbye Volcano High. Developed and published by Co-op. Released August 29th of 2023. And is on PC, PlayStation 5, and the PlayStation 4. Sorry, Xbox and Switch users. I'm sure it will eventually come to you, but after the main news story that we talk about, probably not anymore. Who knows?
I would have said...
We'll get to that when we get to it.
I would have said, oh yeah, it'll definitely come to Game Pass. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, so Goodbye Volcano High. Amy, you have got the reins for this one. You have written the review.
Did.
So, hit us.
I told you I would do it.
Yeah, I asked you if you would.
Last week.
That's true. We were meant to be reviewing this last week, but never way. Potatoes.
I did end up finishing it in a day. Does that help?
That helps, but makes it worse at the same time.
Yeah, because I could have done it in a day before then.
Yep.
It's not like I did. I had plenty of time.
You were off.
I had plenty of time. Like I didn't have that excuse.
You were in the zone. I can
was
accept
in the
that.
zone.
You were in the zone.
I was in the zone. Speaking of being in the zone, let me read my Goodbye Volcano High review. It's significantly shorter than my Baldur's Gate 3 review.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.
No, well, I'll just read it. Have you ever played a video game that feels like it's pulling directly from your own life and lived experiences? Sure, Goodbye Volcano High is a game about anthropomorphized dinosaurs living millions of years ago during their final year of high school as an asteroid is about to hit them, none of which has happened to me yet, except the high school thing. But developer Co-op have created a cast of characters that feel incredibly personal to me. Yes, they're incredibly well written and charming, but the things they're going through and the ways they try to deal with them feel like they could have been ripped from my life. There are a few moments where Volcano High feels less like a video game and more like an adaptation of my life, particularly in the game's main protagonist, Fang. When the game opens, it becomes apparent quite quickly that Fang is dealing with some stuff. I put some stuff in like capital letters. Their friends were gone for the summer and they're struggling in their relationship with their parents, particularly their mother, after coming out as non-binary sometime prior to the start of the game and pursuing their dream of music instead of applying to colleges. The setup drives the core themes of the game, figuring out who you are, what you want, how to get it, and how hard you want to fight for it. Each of the 8 main characters in Volcano High struggle with these questions, which is then cranked up to 11 by the news that an asteroid is coming that could potentially wipe out all life. So our cast has to deal with figuring out their futures while simultaneously figuring out if any of that even matters in the face of the end of the world. It's scary how relatable that is. Immersion is a word thrown around a lot when talking about video games. Naturally, it's what they're all striving for. It comes in many different forms, depending on the type of game you're playing. Excuse me a second. Goodbye Volcano High is, for the most part, an impressively animated visual novel. Its core mechanic is building relationships between Fang and their 7 closest friends, unlocking new scenes depending on choices made and affinity meters through dialogue options. There's an inherent artificiality in dialogue trees in general. When you have options to choose from that can determine outcomes, conversations become objective-based, picking the correct dialogue options for the desired outcome, whatever that may be, starting a romance, raising a relationship, meter being a snarky bitch. Every conversation becomes as mechanically driven as a combat or stealth encounter. You're looking to succeed above and beyond anything else. That isn't necessarily a criticism of conversation options or dialogue wheels, though I'm sure someone will twist my words to make it mean that. But there are precious few games I've played where the mechanical nature of choosing dialogue melts away to feel naturalistic. For me, Goodbye Volcano High is one of those few games. Perhaps it's because of how personal the protagonist's struggles felt to me, but I'll choose to believe it's thanks to some exemplary writing, exceptional voice acting, and an utterly charming cast of characters that I very quickly stopped trying to game the dialogue system and just started talking to people. Fang and their Dino Gang... I didn't realize that rhymed until I said it out loud. Caught me off. Fang and their Dino Gang are nowhere near the one-dimensional character archetypes that populate many coming-of-age stories. They're messy and complicated, and so too are their storylines. Volcano High would be a fine entry in the coming-of-age genre just for this, but it dramatically raises its own stakes by setting itself against the slow-burning backdrop of a potential apocalypse. This is a story about dealing with the trauma of planning for a future that may never come and being powerless to do anything about it. It's heartbreaking, messy, and raw in a way few games allow themselves to be. And yet it's also hopeful, occasionally joyous, frequently downright hilarious, and somehow, despite everything, beautiful. And now, because I fear if I keep talking about the story and characters, I'll start spoiling things, I'm going to make an awkward segue into talking about something else. Volcano High isn't always a visual novel. Whenever Fang and their band Worm Drama perform, you'll switch to a rhythm minigame with an option to lessen the timing requirements for success if you're as terrible at these things as I am. The music is really good, but what impresses me most about it is how well it's interwoven with the story. Volcano High's songs don't exist simply to accompany or elevate a scene. They used to tell the story. When words fail or simply aren't enough, music takes its place. It works incredibly well. Much like Future Days, I doubt I'll be able to hear Pretty Heroes, the final song you perform in Volcano High, without feeling too many feelings. And you can also play a really great version of legally distinct Dungeons & Dragons at a few points in the game, so naturally that makes this game of the year. Goodbye Volcano High hit so close to home for me that I'm still picking up the pieces of glass it left behind as it shattered my bedroom window. Its combination of teen angst, world-ending drama, and complicated characters mixes to create a story that will stay with me for a very long time. Should have realized I should have written at the end there until the asteroid hits. Missed an opportunity there.
Maybe indeed.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
You've played this too, though, right?
No, not at all. I'll just take the piss out of you. No, yeah, no, yes, you. I have played this as well. I would say I would pretty much the same with you when it comes to the characters, dialogue, and everything like that. I really did enjoy this game. The characters I think are absolutely incredibly well written and well diverse in the uniqueness of how like. I think every single one of them I could relate to in some sort of way of that element of what's happened in my life and everything, which I thought was really, really good. I love the art style of this game. I thought it was like I scream all the time. It's like, oh, something different instead of the normal fucking AAA standard thing and everything like that. I know it's saying there's nothing wrong with that.
Photorealism. Like, no, this looks like a cartoon. You would watch a cartoon.
Yeah, and it was incredibly depth towards it. It really, really is. Like, Fang is one of the best characters this year. I think she is absolutely amazingly well written. I think she's just
there.
What?
There.
Sorry. My apologies for that. I did not realize that part. I'm not gonna lie.
They didn't really highlight it. It's one of my favorite parts. It's one of my favorite aspects of the game that a lot of the main characters are some variation of queer, but they didn't. It was never the driving force of their stories, apart from in a couple of scenes with Fang and their mother. So like, yeah, that's how it should be. Like,
oh, I agree, but that's what I'm saying.
But then you don't know. But then, you didn't know it.
I didn't even realize it. Yeah, it's just like if I was just playing. I was playing the games as if I was just hanging out with some friends. That's how good these characters are. Yeah, the characters are really, really, really well done in this game. Fang, they were absolutely an amazing character who I connected with in so many ways.
Yeah.
Do you mind?
I don't think she minds.
Stop it. And yeah, it's like the game's is a really good game for anybody who's like gone through the stuffs like what these characters have gone through on the game. I think you'll resonate with it in so many ways, which is really, really good about it. I love the music. I thought the music, like what you said, connects with you in so many ways and also moves the story and drives the story along and everything. I think she's getting louder. She is, yeah.
I think she's figured out, like, because obviously she doesn't like me. I think she's figured out that I don't like that noise.
yeah, that's true. Okay, give us 2 seconds.
No problem. See what I mean? He's got no resolve. She'll have that toy back.
Okay.
Yeah.
You talk now.
I
just did, Moody. I don't want to talk anymore. I thought there was,
No,
I'm just trying to transition somehow for a little bit.
The characters are great, really great. It was like hanging out. I like the fact that I didn't get all of the scenes for every single character on one playthrough, which is good. Like because you don't, you can't. You have to kind of. You get to know more. You get to know a couple, 2 or 3 characters quite well. But like it never feels like there's a character you don't know, at least somewhat, you know, like the character Stella, the one who does the tarot cards. Like we didn't really interact too much throughout the game. Like that character was one that I didn't interact with too much, but then like she still had a really fucking great moment towards the end of the game, and I was like, oh shit, that's cool. Like if I ever revisit this game, I would like to unlock more of your scenes.
Yeah, I agree. There was one character I really liked in the game was Fang's brother. I thought Fang's brother was really cool. Because like he was just like everyone else. It was just like, I am trying to just live my life, but also like Fang, they believe they've had hardships with their parents as well, but like he's like they think I'm the perfect one and everything like that and whatnot. So that's why you may think that this Fang is thinks they have like always been shunned by their parents, but he's like, no, I'm struggling as well, type of thing. And there's also other things, and it was just really well done. Like the brother was really canny for in the game.
Mm-hmm. I think he was the one I unlocked all of the scenes for.
I think I unlocked another 2, but I can't fully remember. Yeah, the music I thought was absolutely beautiful, really well done. I did not like the rhythm mechanic they put in with it. I used the accessibility options for it. Didn't help.
Wow,
didn't help. Really annoyed me, and I was just like, it was vexing me, and I was like, this is kind of sucking me out of this, and I'm kind of annoyed by that because I was really enjoying the game with the characters and everything. And then I thought I felt the story had some weak pacing. I thought it was just like, we could be a little bit more snappy and move a little bit, just a tiny bit more faster, because I felt like it was just moving a little bit slow sometimes. I loved the D&D thing, what they did. I thought that was really canny. Still waiting Farewell, just so you know.
Ah, he doesn't do that anymore. He's not a DM anymore, pretty sure.
It's not DM, is he not? Well, okay. You're dead to me, Farewell. Wait until Among Us.
Yeah, okay. Like that's ever gonna happen again. I get what you're saying about the pacing, like for sure, but like I think the pacing is intentional because it makes the doom, shall we say, literally, like, because it literally hangs over the whole, like, it's like that slow crushing weight as opposed to, you know, like if it moved too fast, it would be like, it would, for me, it would have felt like it was going too quickly, and it's like, oh, we're not really getting time. Because, like, I think one of the things Volcano High did really well was it lets you just sort of sit with it, right? It's like you watch characters talking about how they're going to do this in the future, and it's like, yeah, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt about it. It's like I can understand why it was a little bit slow sometimes. It just, for me, it was just like could be a little bit more. Could just that's like fine tune, and that's all it is for me more than anything. The mechanics for the rhythm game didn't really click with it. But yeah, like this was a game that I kind of knew what I was going to get. I was going to get some deep, rich characters that I was probably going to connect with in some unique ways, even though they were all dinosaurs. And heck, who doesn't like dinosaurs? Dinosaurs are awesome.
Capcom.
So it's like,
I had to do it.
What?
I said Capcom. I had to. You set me up.
I didn't.
You said, who doesn't like dinosaurs? Capcom.
But it wasn't a setup for you to be mean.
What do you mean about Capcom?
Yeah. But no, a great game. Go out and give it a go, people. It's a really, it's worth its money. It's really, really good.
I said either when it was revealed at the PlayStation thing, or when we did or the next time we talked about it, I'm pretty sure this was the game I said, yeah, I can't wait for this game to come out and make me cry. Self-fulfilling prophecy. I will say, like, I didn't really have much of a problem with the rhythm mini game once I turned the accessibility on. Except it's pretty hard to do the rhythm mini game when you can't see because there are tears in your eyes. As it turns out. I don't want to fuck this up.
I was meant to press cross there, not circle. No. Yeah.
I mean, the accessibility thing definitely like helped me get through it because I'm rhythmically challenged.
Yeah. I'll say this: I'm glad there's accessibility out there. Like, accessibility is like a game that is something that we've been shouting towards for every time we on a podcast. So yeah, accessibility options were amazing.
Agreed. Oh, agreed. And yeah, it was a really good experience. Nice Sunday game. Nice Sunday afternoon. A little bit more than that. It was more of a Sunday morning and afternoon with frequent breaks between chapters.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it, which is great to hear. So I'm glad you enjoyed it as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, like I was ready to. I was cursed. Because I only played because I was going to jump straight into Sea of Stars. I only played this because you were playing it. and with that factoid in mind, when I got to the end of it and I was feeling all of these emotions, I was like, Moody, why did you do this to me? Then
I'm playing Sea of Stars right now.
Me too.
Yeah.
But yeah, really I really liked Volcano High quite a lot.
Yeah, it's a great game. Go and check it out, people.
Definitely do that.
4th episode of Expanse dropped, so I've played that. I really enjoyed that.
So you played that on PlayStation.
Yeah. So continue playing that and everything like that. So I'm really think it's setting up for the final episode really nicely, but at the same time, should have released it all at once. really should have released it all at once. Because no, it's just some of the episodes are just like, you're only like an hour and a half long.
Yeah. It's like, what? Wait, hold on. I'm getting a call. What was that? I was right. Oh.
But okay. I agreed with you.
Yeah.
I agreed with you. I said I was right. I wasn't not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, you complained at me when I said I wasn't gonna play it and like
I complained that you weren't gonna play it. Yes, that is a different reason of 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 a different thing, then it should have all released at the same time.
Yeah, but you knew I wasn't gonna like. If I'd have tried to start this, I would have been mad at you because I would have played episode 1, and then I would have played, I don't know, whatever came out that week, and then I would have been like, oh, I never got back around to it. But anyway, how's the game? Apart from its stupid release schedule, how's the game?
Really, really enjoying it. Like, it's just really good storytelling. What you expect from the Expanse. Expanse was like first one of our favorite sci-fi shows out there. And yeah, it's just really, really good writing. Like, really, really enjoy it. It's like this is elements. It's like where it's like should have been one big release because it's getting forgotten about, which is really disappointing. Like it is a really, really good game. It's a really well done, told story. Yes, it's a Telltale game, but I know what I'm going in for that game. You know, I'm like, duh. It's like with all the people who have like when it comes to Starfield, it's like it's a Bethesda game. Well, if you like a Bethesda game, you're probably going to enjoy this. That's fantastic. Yay! Shout out to you. I haven't played it yet, so I can't comment on that yet. I don't know when I'm going to play. I've got to see stars. See stars. I'm in the stars right now, but it's not with Starfield. I'm in a sea of stars, not a field of stars.
Yeah, okay, I'll allow it.
Starfield.
I get it. No, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Good.
I was trying to make a joke to subtly remind everybody that I don't like Bethesda games, but I couldn't think of one.
Just say you don't like Bethesda games.
Nah. I gotta be cleverer than that.
Okay. Amy doesn't like Bethesda games. Get over it, people. She likes games that...
Oh, good.
She likes games that are Bethesda IPs, but not created by Bethesda.
Well...
Yeah? Fallout Vegas? New Vegas?
Sure.
Okay. No? Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, I said sure.
Before we get to the main story?
Looking at the time and how long this is going to take me to read, never mind how long it's going to take us to talk about. Yes, there is something else I would like to talk about.
Okay.
How about that Nintendo Direct?
Wait, what?
We can't do the Unity story and have a halftime break. Anywhere near halftime. So how about that Nintendo Direct?
So wait, what? You want to do what? Moody's Time to Shine now and then do the Unity story last?
No, I'm just going to do the Unity story after the break, and let's talk about the Nintendo Direct.
All right. What about it? There was a Nintendo Direct?
Yes. There was.
Cool.
Yeah. I thought that's why you were making an Among Us joke, Moody.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
No, why?
Because there was they're bringing out a new map.
I know this. I watched the Nintendo Direct. Old Tomb Raider's coming.
Yeah, again.
That was like, wow, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah,
great for old school Tomb Raider fans and everything like that. That's fantastic.
It's cool.
Yeah,
I was like, I might buy this, and then I was like, and then the other half of my brain went, Amy, you own every single Tomb Raider game on Steam. you don't need this.
You don't need it, do you? Not? I need the chair.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No. Oh, can you reach? There we go. No. Just in the case of like, it's my brain trying to tell me not to spend money I don't need to spend. It's like, oh, cool. I love Tomb Raider. Maybe I'll buy a Tomb Raider collection on Switch, and then it's like you've already got these games.
You've got them all, Amy. Why do you need to spend more money? You could be spending it on the Expanse in 2 weeks' time, when you can buy the entire game and play it all in one day, and then do a review with Moody the week after.
Oh. We'll see. I don't know. I'm knee-jerking and saying no because I know how many games are coming out.
Admit it, you want to play the Expanse.
I play a lot of things, but not Tomb Raider. But yeah, no, that looked good. I like the HD. I like the look of the HD style. Mm-hmm. Like it was a nice upgrade without going completely overboard.
Yeah, true. I agree with you there. Yeah, there's like a lot of fun to it. So I'm really happy for all the Nintendo fans out there who got a Nintendo Direct.
There's some cool looking games on it. I have to shout out a bit before I talk about anything else. It's the fucking biggest laugh I've had watching a showcase probably all year, which was when that super gritty voiceover was going on that trailer for that game. it was like, oh, you saved the world, and then it said the name of the game was Unicorn Overlord, and I just laughed. Like, what? The most serious thing you've ever played, Unicorn Overlord. Huh? It did make me laugh.
It has unicorns, apparently.
Apparently, the unicorn is the Overlord. I don't know anything about this game because as soon as I heard the name of it, I forgot the trailer.
I started laughing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
In a world full of unicorns, where they overload.
The final boss is going to be like a unicorn. And this dark, gritty, sci-fi tactics RPG, I think it was. It gave me a good laugh. The thing that... What?
That's good. Everyone should have a laugh.
Yeah. No, the thing that stuck out at me was like how good that Splatoon 3 thing looked at the beginning. Like the roguelite DLC thing that they kicked off the show with. I was like, oh, maybe I should play Splatoon again.
Maybe. I'm sure Sir Joe Mudforce will do it. Will play it with you.
I never played it with him the first time.
No, man. I thought you did.
No, because we talked about it that time on the podcast where I was like, I'm going to make this my first Splatoon game just so we can play it together. And then we never played it together. But I did make it my first Splatoon game.
Cool. Nice. Congrats. Yay.
And the Mario Kart 8 DLC is nearly finished. I didn't realize this was going to be the last one.
It's the last one, yeah. It's the last one.
So, like, it'll be done before the end of the year.
So is this is this now the best-selling game ever from Nintendo? As they've just done the DLC for the last 2 years for us, or the last year and a half.
Okay, we've bought ourselves enough time. Now we can finally reveal Mario Kart 9 for the Switch 2.
Yeah. If this is now dropping, this like literally saying, you guys, okay, the next Mario Kart is coming. Shut up.
Yeah,
it's like probably going to release next year.
Like, is it going to release as like a Switch 2 launch title or something?
Yeah, or it's dropping at the end of the year and everything like that. Either way, people win because more Mario Kart. Yeah, I know.
I used to like playing Mario Kart.
Mario Kart's awesome.
I don't mean that as in I just like don't like it anymore. I just mean as in like people used to come to the house and play Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And now that doesn't happen, and I don't own it anymore. I owned it on the Wii U.
But with the next one coming, we're surmising here. We're taking a guess there.
There's going to be another one.
Yeah, that's a guarantee, I think. But we don't know at the same time.
Unless they do another six DLC packs.
The keyboard boy is typing. Actually, they haven't announced it yet, so it doesn't mean it is coming. You don't know what you're talking about.
I have 369 examples of me knowing quite well what I'm talking about. Thank you very much.
If there is a new one coming out, we'll play it. We'll buy our Nintendos the same day, and will be the first game we play together.
Yeah, maybe I'll finally buy a Nintendo console at launch.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't drop the same like the end of March because I don't think we're going to be able to.
No, I think they would have said something about it by now.
I fucking hope
although we could, that you say if we do it then we might not be able to. I say we will be in closer proximity to each other and it has local multiplayer. We might have more of a chance to be able to.
That is true, but there is something very interesting that week, so I don't know.
Sure. But not all week.
That's true. Wargrove 2.
Yeah, so this is the Chucklefish Tactics strategy sequel that I own the first one on Switch and I played a bunch of it and it was really good. I think they gave me a review code. I can't remember. But the second one looks like fun and really in depth. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. Like people can make their own campaigns in this game, which I was like, oh, cool. So like, I always love a good editor. Like I never built a course in Mario Maker.
Yeah.
But I loved downloading other people's. So I love that shit.
Awesome.
Will I do that in this? No. It's coming out in October. Probably not even think about it again after this podcast because I just won't have the time. But it looked pretty cool. And the Princess Peach game looked cool too. She has a sword. I'm sold. Somebody gave Princess Peach a sword. It's about time.
Badass. It's a badass. Woman with a sword. It's badass. I remember Xena.
Yeah, no, just like...
I remember Leia.
It's like, I can't believe it took nearly 40 years
to put a sword in Peach's hand.
To put a sword in Peach's hand. It's like, she gets kidnapped every other year by Bowser. It's like...
Because she was used for only one reason, and one reason only.
Yeah.
Cannon fodder.
Yeah. We flushed him out. Excellent. We've narrowed his location down to one of these 9 castles. Send out the Toad Scouts. Deploy the Mario Brothers. Just airdrop them in. Out of play. Looks like some cool fun mini games type stuff. Yeah, it's nice to see Princess Peach getting a game of her own, I guess.
That's true.
And the WarioWare game, I looked at it and I thought it looked good, but then I was like, you have to do all those poses really quickly, and I'll probably throw my back again. Trying to do the things. I was like squatting ones and stuff, and I was like, no.
Well, I told you, don't use your knees.
Don't use your knees.
I'm just saying, every time someone says pulls their back, it's because they use their knees. So.
So was there anything else that stood out for you at the Switch Direct, Nintendo Direct?
No.
Fair enough.
I'm glad everyone enjoys it and everything like that. Nintendo's like, Nintendo do Nintendo. And like, in every game there, it's great to see, like, they diversify all the time. There's always something unique and different all the time for everybody. Like I always say, for all conferences or shows or showcases or directs or whatever people want to do these days. And it's always great that you see there's something for everybody. So,
yeah,
yay to that.
It's always fine, like as much as I've been bored by other shows in the past. Like I don't think I've ever watched a Nintendo Direct and gone, bit shit that. Like I don't think that's ever happened. But yeah, cool. So let's move on to indie game of the week.
We didn't see. Sorry, I know you want to get that. I was surprised, unless I missed it. We didn't see Mario Wonder.
No, there was a Mario Wonder Direct sometime in the recent past.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, so I accidentally left. I watched the Direct on my phone, and I accidentally left it running, and it did that autoplay thing, and all of a sudden, Nintendo started shouting at me about Mario, and I was like, oh! It's like this. It was a Mario Brothers Wonder Direct or something like that. That happened at some point in the recent past. It's only a few weeks away. Is it something under your table?
Yeah, it's called my dog. Ian, go get it. Go get it. Get it.
Riveting.
So
this is
from the wire.
So this is indie game of the week. This is the thing we do every week where we talk about a cool looking upcoming indie game that one of us has found. This week's indie game of the week is called Chessarama, which is a collection of original chess-inspired games with a demo on Steam that has, I believe it was 5 different types of games that each have their own campaign, and they basically adapt chess, like pieces and rules to different things. The one I really got into was this football one, where it was you have to score a goal by moving chess pieces around on a football field, and then
foosball.
Putting them in a sequence where they'll score a goal basically, because the bishop can only move diagonally, but it also only kicks the ball diagonally as well. So when it gets the ball, it'll hoof it diagonally towards either another player or the goal. And I got really into that one. There's a couple other ones. There's a farming one where you hop around as a knight watering tiles, and a one where you play as the queen, killing a bunch of samurai, I think it was. But no, that was it. It was a lot of fun. They're going to add more stuff, I guess, because this was only the demo. But I had a lot of fun with it.
Great, that's great to hear.
Cool.
I'm sorry to be a little distracted, but just make sure.
That's fine. Yeah, so that's Chessarama. Developed by Minimal Games, published by Minimal Games and Hawthorne Games. It's coming Q4 2023 at Steam. And there's a link in the description to the Steam store page. Click on that. Go hit that wishlist button. Maybe even try the demo out. Maybe don't try the demo out. I don't know if it was made on Unity. Maybe don't download the demo. But definitely hit that wishlist button.
That thing doesn't start until January.
Okay, you have 3 months to check the demo out. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, we'll take a little halftime break. Go and refresh ourselves. I'm gonna get some oxygen into this room.
And I'm gonna put the dog away.
That's not a toy, Mooney. You can't just put it in the cupboard.
What?
That's what it sounded like. I'm gonna put the dog away, like I'm gonna put the cups away.
I am.
In a cupboard?
In her playpen.
Oh. Yeah,
She does not like the playpen.
Ah.
No, I'm just gonna put it in the living room and shut the door.
But it sounds like so much fun. It's a play.
She does not like
pen.
it. She doesn't.
You get to play in there.
Yeah, she doesn't like it.
You need to put like
she's really bad in it.
You need to put like a Game Boy or something in there. get her on Pokemon. You can trade Pokemon with each other.
Here you go, Dora. Play Pokemon. Here's my Switch.
Gotta catch them all.
Come back destroyed. It's not a cheap toy.
No, you were supposed to catch the Pokemon, not try and eat the Pokemon. That's a whole other discourse. Cool, we'll be back momentarily. Still haven't made any fake adverts or anything for this. It's halftime. I don't want to do the main story. Fine, we'll do the main story.
Fine, we'll finish the movie's time to shine and finish early. Good. I've got a dog that's probably whining right now.
Fine, we'll talk about Uni. I actually had to get a new story for this because even the thought of trying to piece this together myself was bad. But what I've just realized is I haven't actually copied the author's name into the doc, so I know it came from PC Gamer. Are you shaking your head because I
because
I fucked up? I fucked up, Mooney.
What's the first thing of writing school? List your sources.
We're on YouTube, so I'm in good company.
First, disclaimer. I can appreciate that for all of you who will listen to this and everything like that. They may not understand what we're going to be talking about, but this is an incredibly important story about the video game industry. I know we like to talk about video games and everything like that. That's what we love to do, but this is incredibly important. So it may get a little techno jargon in there and some money and levels and whatnot, but this is incredibly important. So
yeah, it's like if you think of all of the news stories that we've really been talking about, like up top for like the last few weeks, where it's like they've been kind of important and we've kind of taken the piss out of a lot of people. This is probably the most important story we've covered all year. Probably.
Maybe
off the top of my head,
at least top five guaranteed.
Yeah, like
easy top five.
This is.
It's been a long year. It's been a fast year, but also there's a lot of stories we've talked about, and it's like.
Yeah, it's hard to.
It's like Game of the Year. That's an important story.
Game of the Year is always an important story. Andy Chalk over at PC Gamer. Thanks for that. You stalled me long enough so I could look it up.
Did he choke out the title as well?
No, he got the title from a quote, which I'll be reading later on. Yeah, so let's get into it. It's a long story. I'm going to read it all. I'm sure some information has changed. Information is changing constantly with this new story. But yeah, so this is an astonishing scumbag move. Indie developers reacted to surprise Unity engine pricing changes. This is from Andy Chalk over at PC Gamer, who writes, indie game developers are up in arms over changes to Unity's pricing system that will see them charged on a per-install basis once certain thresholds are met. The developers say the changes could end up costing them more than their games will ever actually make, and worse, leaves them vulnerable to abuse and impacts their ability to take part in game giveaways, bundles, and even subscription services like Game Pass. On January 1st, 2024, Unity will start charging developers a new Unity runtime fee that will apply every time a game is installed after a game passes minimum revenue and install threshold counts. For users of Unity Personal, which is free, and Unity Plus, those thresholds are $200,000 over the past 12 months and 200 lifetime installs. After those numbers are surpassed, developers will have to pay Unity 20 cents per install. Higher cost versions of Unity have higher thresholds and lower per install fees. On the face of it, it seems like a reasonable deal. No, it doesn't. If you, a solo developer, make $200,000 in a year off a little indie game you cooked up in Unity, paying a small fraction of what you earn on sales on top of that hardly seems unusual. After an Unreal Engine game makes $1 million in revenue, for example, Epic collects 5% of all future revenue. But indie developers were almost unanimously outraged by the change. Tom Francis, the designer and coder of Heat Signature, described the change as, quote, an astonishing scumbag move, end quote. Francis's major complaint wasn't with the new fee structure itself, but the way Unity imposed it on developers who have already released games using the Unity engine. The Unity Runtime Fee FAQ says the new charge, quote, applies to eligible games currently in market that continue to distribute the runtime, end quote, after January 1st. Francis tweeted, quote, a partner who can and will change how much of your revenue you owe them after you've made and released your game needs to be avoided like the plague. I hadn't realized they even legally could. I gather Epic's Unreal license is perpetual per version. So whatever the deal is when you commit, you're guaranteed that forever if you're happy to stick with that version. Epic's 5% is more than Unity's new fees in most scenarios, but compared to a company that can help themselves to any amount of your money at any time, suddenly sounding more reasonable, end quote. Excuse me. Similar sentiments were shared by the Volcano developer Thomas Sala, who wrote that he's already committed to the Unity engine for his new game and has put, quote, years and years of work into it, end quote. And then continued to write, quote, I did so under a simple per-seat license I am happy to pay. Now while I'm close to release, they spring something new on me. Not a price increase, a fundamental change in how we do business together. I have no options, can't go back, can only bend and pay up. It's a form of blackmail. It's not dependable. How will they change it 2 years from now, or a decade? It's gross, and it makes me want to go somewhere else with my business, end quote. Gloomwood developer Dylan Rogers said that even if Unity walks this policy back completely, quote, the damage is done. You cannot trust a partner who will alter the deal after it's done, end quote. Over the Moon Games tweeted, quote, hey Unity, our game The Fall was on the Epic Games as a free game. I was quite happy to sell them the rights for peanuts and the game was installed like 7 million fucking times. How do you propose this will work? I'd owe you more money than I've ever made in my life. And then he followed up by saying, to be clear, the more I've made in my life is an obvious exaggeration. I would owe them 3 times what Epic paid me, end quote. Microsoft Games director Brandon Sheffield used the example of Vampire Survivors, a $5 hit indie on Steam that became one of the biggest games of 2022, to dive into the topic in a blog post pointedly titled The Death of Unity. Quote, Vampire Survivors Edge was their price. Now doing something like that is completely unfeasible. Imagine releasing a game for 99 cents under the personal Unity plan, where Steam takes 30% off the top for their platform fee, and then Unity takes 20 cents per install, and now you're making a maximum 46 cents on the dollar. As a developer who starts a game under the personal plan because you're not sure how well it'll do, you're punished, astoundingly so, for being a breakout success. Not to mention that sales will now become more costly for developers, since Unity is not asking for a percentage but a set fee. If I reduce the price of my game, the price Unity asks doesn't decrease, end quote. On top of all of that, indie developer and consultant Rami Ishmael told PC Gamer that the new fee system opens the door to all sorts of potential abuse. Quote, say I have a user who doesn't like me, and they decide to install my game on 100 devices, which you can fairly easily do. Spin up some virtual machines, turn on a VPN, just spoof 100 installs. Now there's 100 installs. Now, Unity does not have insight into my revenue, right? But they do have insight into the installs, so as far as they're concerned, they're now owed a few $1,000s, but I didn't earn anything. The problem is that what they're charging for is something that does not make money. An install does not make us money, end quote. For the same reason, Unity's new policy may also throw up roadblocks for developers who want to do game giveaways, take part in charity bundles, or sign up for subscription services like Game Pass. Unity told Stephen Totillo of Axios that charity bundles are exempt from the fee, but how can you tell where a game install actually originated from? It also clarified that if a user uninstalls a game and then reinstalls it, that counts as 2 separate installs and thus 2 charges, although the company later walked back that part of the policy. Ishmael said, quote, "Say we have a game, we make $200,000, we make a really nice deal with Microsoft, and on Microsoft it gets downloaded, 15 million times. Am I going to pay 20 cents over 15 million installs?" End quote. One big issue is the lack of clarity on how exactly the new policy will work. Ishmael said the only thing developers have to go by at this point is Unity's public statement. In response to the backlash, Unity repeated its initial claim that the new fee system, quote, will only affect a small subset of current Unity editor users, and that the large majority of users will continue to pay nothing. They then tweeted, "The developers who will be impacted are generally those who have successful games and are generating revenue way above the thresholds we outlined in our blog. This means that developers who are still building their business and growing the audience of their games will not pay a fee. The program was designed specifically this way to ensure developers could find success before the install fee takes effect," end quote. Unity also said that it is, quote, actively listening to and following your questions closely, end quote, and invited concerned developers to, quote, discuss these changes on its forums, end quote. Just hours after the new runtime fee policy was announced, Unity has told Axios that it has now changed direction on the multiple installs equals multiple charges policy after regrouping to discuss the issues following the strong pushback from developers. A representative said that uninstalling and reinstalling the game will not result in multiple charges, which Unity hopes will allay the fears of, quote, install bombing, end quote. However, installing a game on multiple devices, such as a PC and Steam Deck, will still result in multiple charges. It would also seem that the scenario described by Rami Ishmael, in which an angry user uses virtual machines to simulate multiple installs, would still leave developers on the hook for charges. Despite the partial walkback, some developers say they still plan to move from Unity to another engine. Aaron Sanfilippo of Whisker Squadron, what a name, developer Flipfly, for instance, said he doesn't care if Unity reverts the new pricing scheme completely. Quote, "They've made it clear it's not safe to work with this engine," end quote. This might be the first time in history that people can be mad about an engine and they're actually right. All that engine discourse we have to put up with every few months. This is the first time that they're right to be mad.
Yeah, this is This came out of nowhere and everything, and I was been speaking to people, and it's like, well, this is an attack on indie games, minimum.
Yeah,
it's like, so if people don't really realize this, if you don't know this or understand this or anything like that, Unity is primarily the engine that indie game developers use to create their indie games, for the most part. Not saying it's all of them, but it's the highest percentage of them, because it's easy. It's a more friendlier.
It's got like a lower barrier to like learn.
Yeah, it's a lower barrier to learn, but it's also friendlier to be able to. I felt like it was a lot more friendlier experience to be able to create your game as well, for an indie game. When it comes to like Unreal 5 or even just Unreal in general, that is a very fantastic engine, there's no doubt about that, but it's also more primarily aimed towards the artists compared to developers, coders and developers, and just creating a great game with a great mechanic and everything compared to what Unity is. This is a giant middle finger to all the indie game developers out there, which is disgusting. Like, we've just talked about Goodbye Volcano High, which was created in Unity.
And if I may butt in very quickly, just to point out, that is a good example of this story, of a direction that this could take, in that Goodbye Volcano High had problems with incel losers who hated the game because it was a bit queer. Like, they could have all decided to pirate the game and continuously uninstall it, reinstall it, uninstall it, reinstall it. And every time they did that, that costs the developer money.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. Like, this new thing that happens in January is going to destroy indie developers. Like the AAA developers, they're absolutely fine with this because they use their own engine. They've got the money to be able to create their own engine to be able to do this type of thing. But for everyone else who was not a big AAA developer, they use Unreal or Unity. And Unity now has basically just made it more difficult to be able to create a game. And now everyone will, like what it says in the article, will eventually transfer over to another engine and everything. Like I don't know if I saw a thing at work or if it was on Blue Sky and everything like that, but someone posted another engine that's user base has suddenly just skyrocketed.
Yeah,
all of a sudden, which is not surprising whatsoever. Unity, this is like a big middle finger to the developers, and it sucks. It really is. It's nothing but just corporate capital greed and bullshit and the whole freaking shebang for that. And yeah.
Once you start digging through the layers of what this could potentially mean, and probably does, like you start realizing how big of a problem, like it already sounds like it's a huge problem just on the surface level, but once you start like digging into the particulars and the specifics, it gets worse and worse and worse the more you go. So let's do that now. Like there are development studios who've already said they're moving their games from Unity to another engine, Godot, Game Maker, Unreal, wherever, maybe making their own engine. But the issue that they've got is like, unless you're pretty close to the beginning of development, you can't change your engine.
If you're about 2 years in minimum, maybe even a year, you're screwed. You have to come to the decision of stop and try and move over to another engine, which is obviously delays your game because they would have added like a potential eye on where they think they could have released the game. That goes on completely out the window, and then it also comes to the cost of just like, okay, can we actually survive, depending on the size of the developer and everything. So like it also like hurts like just AA publishers like Merge Games, Team 17, Devolver Digital, all the big AA studios who are like helping small indie studios publish their games and everything. All their deals were like, if they're like trying, just to try and like find a new game to like help publish and everything like that, all those deals that they were close to finalizing, they're probably all going out the window now because these developers are like, shit.
Yeah,
we need to. I'm sorry, we have no choice. We have to renegotiate because I'm going to have to put up my price.
Yeah,
either stuff like that.
The dev's either going to need more money, or the publisher's going to need to take the hit on the runtime fee.
And some publishers aren't able to.
No, and some publishers just aren't going to.
Yeah, as well.
Because you can't know how much that's going to cost. Like if Devolver Digital signs an indie game that is made on Unity, and then it becomes Cult of the Lamb again, which was also made on Unity, and it far exceeds their expectations. That's great in one way, but also it's going to cost them more money.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And then the worst thing that scares me the most, and I don't know if it was in the article. I apologize if I misheard you and everything for it, but this weaponizes the trolls.
Yes,
the vicious bastards out there who cry and moan over the smallest little thing. Pronouns.
It does.
This weaponizes them.
Well, now
and that's scary. That is really, really scary because this now literally, this was already this thing already was impacting on going to impact on people's lives and everything for their studio and video game and what they wanted to do with it and whatnot. But like this turns an engine, an incredible engine. I'll say this right now. Unity is a fucking amazing engine. I'll state that facts, no doubt about it. But this weaponizes an engine that's some people are going to be like, hey, time to fucking bankrupt a company.
Yeah.
And ruin people's lives.
Yeah.
And that's scary as hell as well.
Yeah. It can do that. They talk about walking back because in the original announcement it was every time a game is reinstalled. So like say I uninstall Volcano High and then I want to play it again, so I reinstall it, that would be an extra charge. And yeah, but they've walked that back to say reinstalls aren't going to count. So like I can reinstall Volcano High as many times as I want and it's not going to count as long as I do it on the same machine. But as Rami Ishmael points out, it's very easy to just create virtual desktops.
Yeah, it is.
Like, for example, like as people know, if they've been around my streams for long enough, like I have an Activate Windows watermark on my desktop. I got it not because I stole Windows, but because I changed my processor, and my computer now thinks it's an entirely new machine. Like, and that's my operating system. Like, if my operating system can't figure out that it's still in the same computer, I just changed a component, Unity's got no chance. Like, they're so vague about how they're going to track installs that they don't know themselves.
They're going to...
They can't.
I'm going to state this right now. They're going to run all of this back. It's either that or they are dead in 5 years.
Yeah.
The company, I mean, not the people. The company is dead, done in 5 to 10 years. Because they're going to have to, because everyone right now, everyone who was like in early development is moving. They're literally changing to a different to a different engine straight away. No ifs, ands, or buts. Give games that are like literally probably all the Unity games that are probably going to be coming out from now and until say 2025. They can't do anything about it unless they know they can survive and they start again, which is potentially difficult.
This is like you say, like early development, sure, but like the developers of Slay the Spire were making their next game in Unity and had been for 2 years, and they've already put out a statement saying we'll start again in a different engine. So that's 2 years of dev time gone, and it doesn't even translate one for one. Those people will now have to learn how to do things on Unreal, Godot, whatever they choose to use.
Yeah.
Which is extra time, because your skills don't translate one to one from one engine to the next. In the same way that mine didn't when I switched my video editor. Like it took me time to learn how to use the new one. Like
Unity has got a thing where they've added in a thing like where you can code kind of like the same thing as Unity did, but it's still different to what Unity is. So yeah, it's like Unity just woke up and literally said, "Hey, what? Smack, basically." Like I saw an article this dropped last year. I don't know if we actually talked about it. I can't remember.
We did.
Where the CEO came out and says, basically, all mobile developers or something.
Indie developers are fucking idiots if they don't think about monetization. You were doing your cool badass stuff at PlayStation when that happened.
Well, I
was here with Elfie. It's the only episode of the Words About Games podcast that has been restricted on YouTube because I put the quote in the title. That's why I remember it so well.
But no, yeah, like you've got the idiot did this, they did that, said that's what say. Now the idiot's done this, and like I said, it's nothing more for corporate greed. It's nothing more than that, and it's sickening and it's disgusting. Like we've talked about, I think a few times over this year, of like, when's the industry going to hit its wall and everything like that, and they're like, can certain things survive and whatnot, and stuff. When this happens, the answer's no.
Well, the middle ground is falling away. So
yeah, that's the thing about it.
As part of their response to the criticisms that they were getting, Unity, they said a bunch of stuff, and one of the things they said, which I thought was really fascinating, and also very good sleight of hand, was, don't worry, this will only affect like 10% of Unity users. So like, to put that in context with reality, 10% of Unity users is basically every indie game developer you've ever heard of. Because Unity users includes students, hobbyists, people who just download it and fuck around with it for a bit, see if they want to like make a game or even just an asset. Every indie game studio that uses Unity that you've heard of is in that 10% and will be affected by this.
Exactly. There's no doubt about it. That's exactly how it is. And yeah, it fucks students. It fucks the future. It just fucks the
Like,
industry.
if you make a student project and people start installing, you have to pay the Unity for that.
Yeah, I would have
Yeah,
to.
you would have to because it's an install. Like,
Yeah.
they talk about charity bundle games being exempt from this, but again, how do you know if a game came from a charity bundle or if it was just purchased? Because you can't know that. If Unity knew how to tell the difference, they wouldn't need to do this runtime fee, because they've just figured out a way to track installs without breaching privacy laws. They could just sell that to every company and be fucking quadrillionaires. They don't know how to do that because privacy laws come into it. They can't take end user data. All they can see is this game's been installed. Cool, whatever. Like, I've seen a couple of developers talk about delisting their games. Like, the Cult of the Lamb devs have literally said they're going to delist their game on January 1st. But even that won't help, because that just removes it from sale. So it'll help a bit, but anybody who owns that game can still install it. And that'll cost them money.
Yeah.
It's all retro. The thing is, they've done this as well to retroactive. So any game that has been released with Unity is going to start getting these charges from January 1st, 2024 for any install that occurs after that.
Yeah. And like the developers can't even create a code to stop the console or Steam or PC, whatever, from uninstalling installing it, because that's against
malware.
It's against the law.
Yeah, it's like you can't do that. That's a virus.
Yeah. So it's like you're not even handcuffing the developers. You're just chopping their hands off.
Like,
basically, and it's it is disgusting. It's vile. It's deplorable. It's corporate greed. Go fuck yourselves, Unity.
Yeah, there's nothing that some developers can do about this for games that they've already released that they're making no money on. But if people keep deciding they want to play it and install it, like, imagine Innisloth and Among Us. I know they put out a statement talking about delisting the game and porting it into a different engine, but like, they get fuck tons of downloads all the time.
Yeah.
Which aren't sales, they're just people coming back to the game. Like, wild.
Like I said, for me, they're going to run all this back.
And then there's Game Pass.
I'll be very surprised.
There's Game Pass.
They do not.
There's 25 million Game Pass subscribers, Moody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if your game is even a decent hit on Game Pass, I was going to say your studio's fucking screwed, but actually Unity have come out and said that, oh no, don't worry, the developer won't be on the hook for it. And I would love to see Unity rock up to Xbox with a bill. They've spent the last 3 years, their legal team has spent the last 3 years practicing on fucking the FTC and the CMA. Like, Unity is going to be no problem for them. Like, but then Xbox won't sign Unity games going forward. There's no way they could, because again, you're talking about a wildly fluctuating cost that they don't know. They don't know how much that game's going to cost them.
But again, that hurts Game Pass.
It hurts Game Pass, but it ultimately
Game Pass not the thing that we've been screaming for and talking about of how great it is for the last few years since it was announced. Since then, because of this.
And it hurts.
But like you said, they won't go to Unity developers. They won't.
They can't.
Yeah.
I mean, if Unity ever managed to get some money out of Microsoft for this, I would be amazed. But there's no way. Oh, we're gonna pass that fucking. We're gonna pass the cost on to Microsoft. Like, do you think Phil Spencer? In my head, I'd love to say like Phil Spencer just woke up one morning, opened his phone, and just saw the tweet of like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, Microsoft's gonna pay for it." I want to know his reaction.
He'll literally be like, because he'll have his lawyers on speed dial.
Sure.
Microsoft lawyers on speed dial. Yeah. And he said, "Hello, yeah, don't worry, boss, we're already on it."
It's like, you know all those lawyers we had on retainer, who were letting go because the deal's almost through. Yeah. Can we put them back on retainer for a bit? We just need to send Unity a letter.
A big letter.
A big letter. Nintendo will be on the hook for this as well, right? Because wasn't one of the Pokemon games remade in Unity?
I honestly don't know.
I'm sure. I know
Probably.
Pokemon Go was made in Unity.
Potentially, yeah.
Is, that'll be an interesting one. But yeah, no, like free Epic Games was mentioned in there as well, where it's like the game was downloaded 7 million times. That's a lot of fucking money. Like, what happens if you give out games for educational purposes to schools? Terra Nil did that, didn't they? Like that I don't know if it was made in Uni, but I think that Terra Nil game went into like outside of just gamers playing it because it was about conservation. It's like, so every install that they do, they're gonna have to for giving their game away.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Like
you're right, they'll walk this back because they're gonna have to. But
they have to.
I think what I would hope that a lot of developers who are currently using Unity take away from this is move anyway. Like, I know you can't do it immediately. I know you can't just port your game over to a different engine and it'll all be fine. But, like, that next game that you're going to make it in a different engine. Like, they did this without talking to developers, it's clear. And if they're willing to do this on just out of nowhere, they're willing to do a lot of things. And I think you just need to move on regardless of whether they walk this back or not.
So I've done a thing that I normally don't do, anything like that. But I've gone on to Unity stock. So, funny enough, on the 12th of September, they hit a certain number, and then it skyrocketed downwards. I wonder why.
Would you like to know the more interesting part of Unity stock?
Go on.
Towards the beginning of this month, Unity CEO John Riccitiello sold shares in Unity.
Interesting.
He wasn't the only one, apparently. A bunch of C-suite executives sold shares in Unity in the past few weeks.
They knew what was coming. They knew!
I wonder if there's a word for that.
They heard it and just went, "Are you fucking stupid? Yeah, just think of all the money. No, we're going to lose money, you fucking idiot."
I would like to think that they would get done for insider trading, but they're rich, so, laws don't necessarily apply to them. But that's insider trading. Oh, there's this announcement that's coming down the pipeline that's definitely going to drop our stock price, so maybe I'll sell some shares. It's insider trading. Quite clearly. So, if this doesn't sink John Riccitiello, maybe the insider trading thing will. Who knows?
Doubt it.
John Riccitiello, of course, formerly in charge of EA, was once caught on an audio recording talking about wanting to charge people $1 to reload their guns in Battlefield. Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
How's
There's an audio recording of him talking about microtransactions and how great they can be. Talking about like time investment. Or it's like if we charge someone in Battlefield $6 for 6 hours into Battlefield, $1 for a reload, like they're more likely to pay it because they're invested in the game. It's an audio recording. I'll see if I can dig it out for you.
No, I don't want to. It sounds stupid as it freaking sounds.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's the same guy.
Jesus.
You remember that joke I make where it's like, I remember everything. It's not a joke, Moody. I do remember everything. I wish I didn't sometimes. Yeah, what was interesting, someone pointed out on Blue Sky, was John Riccitiello, when he joined EA, the stock price went down. And then it was around there for a bit. And then when he left, it went back up. So like that period of time under his management, that was when EA was voted worst company in America 2 years in a run. Was when he was in charge.
Interesting. I didn't realize that. I did not know that.
He's him and Phil Harrison probably have like are in a club.
Have a lot in common.
Yeah, they'll have a lot in common. Yeah, they could have being bad.
Know how to tank a company. Huh? That's interesting. That's interesting.
I think that's pretty much
All I'll say is one final thing is that anyone, if you can get away from Unity right now, get away from it. Move over to a different software or anything like that in the best way you can. Like, it sucks this has happened, all that hard work you've been putting into it and everything. It's basically just been thrown out the window. But I hope everyone lands on their feet and everything, and Unity goes suck an egg.
Yeah. Basically. I feel really bad for the people who work at Unity who are definitely like inside the company up in arms about these changes.
The ones who were creating this awesome engine and everything like that. Not
they
the
were
fucking
definitely
CEOs,
they were definitely sitting there
fucking
going
idea.
like, "Don't you can't do this." So yeah, I feel bad for them too. Yeah, I'm just looking at Moody's Time to Shine, and you brought it up partway through where it's like we've had discussions this past year about is the game industry about to hit a wall, and I'm like looking at some of the other headlines and going,
yeah,
there's a trend here, isn't there?
There's a trend of that. They hit a peak during 2020, and they want to keep up that peak, but realizing they cannot. And there's also other things on top of that and everything, and it's just like, well, you're fucking idiots.
Interesting. Anyway, it's time for Moody's Time to Shine.
I don't want to.
There's not much shine. I'm sorry. We'll be back to laughing at bald white people next week, I'm sure.
Well, let's go talk about something awesome. Forza Motorsport includes a blind driving assistant mode.
It sure does. Blind driving assists have been designed to enable players who can't see to win competitive races. The assists provide audio cues for when to brake or accelerate, as well as coaching players about upcoming turns or rate the severity of curves. Nope, we're good. I'm past it. Other cues indicate when the player's car reaches the apex of a turn or provide audio pans that help. Let me try that again. Other cues indicate when the player's car reaches the apex of a turn or provide audio pans that help players center themselves in the track. When I got to the middle sentence, I remembered I was reading a really nice news story, and when it was talking about the severity of the curves, I wanted to make a really rude joke. And I stopped myself. I'd rather rate the severity of these curves, baby! You know, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah? Yeah.
You curve yourself up, Amy. You do that.
That's what I've been trying to do for the last 5 years.
And you're doing fabulously.
I know. So, like, Forza, right?
This is awesome. There's no doubt about it. Like, it's like the same thing when we talked about it years ago with The Last of Us Part 2. Last of Us Part 2, you can win being blind. You can win by where you can complete that game death, which is just incredible. So to see this, to be able to do this is amazing, and I can't wait to hear some amazing stories, hopefully, of a blind person winning a race or completing the game in Forza Motorsport in the next couple of months and whatnot, because this game's coming out soon. So it's like, this is absolutely fantastic. Accessibility for the win. Go fuck yourself, you inaccessible people who don't like accessibility, you nasty, mean twats.
Do you know what else is accessible?
You're gonna say something.
I was going to do another these curves. These curves on Blue Sky. This is really cool. I love this. Like,
yeah,
I've been noticing recently. I think when I've been playing Sea of Stars, I don't know why I'm more sensitive to it in Sea of Stars than I have been recently, but I'm realizing there's a lot of really good audio cues in that game. Because you know how like the combat in Sea of Stars is partially like timing based. You push a button to do more damage at the right moment or to block an attack. Like I don't know why I've noticed it, but what I've been noticing is all of the attacks and that you take and like block and do, like they all have audio cues to tell you when to push the button.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't usually notice that kind of thing, but I've been noticing it quite well. I've been like thinking, oh, like I can do this without looking at the screen. Sometimes it helps to not look at the screen. I just find that really good. Like the fact that Forza Motorsport, a simulation racing game, can be played by people who can't see is fucking incredible.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's amazing. Congratulations to the entire team who've done this and be able to pull this off and everything like that.
Hell yeah.
Well done.
Fucking let's go. I'm not going to make any more jokes about anything.
Cool.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
What?
Making the jokes.
What?
I don't know. It seemed like a nice
You've
story.
got
I
curves, Amy.
should have been.
Shake them all about.
Don't tempt me. It's warm. It's warm in here.
Warm in here. So, I'm not going to continue that sentence. Don't need to give you an idea. Reports suggest Embracer Group was looking to sell Gearbox Software.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. 2 years after purchasing Gearbox Software for $1 billion, Reuters and Bloomberg are reporting that Embracer Group are looking to sell the studio. The move follows the collapse of a $2 billion partnership with Saudi-backed Savvy Games Group and the closure of Volition earlier this month. Gearbox currently has more than 1,000 employees.
Yeah, this is... They also apparently, I think it also says in the article, but correct me if I'm wrong, that if they can't sell them, that they might just let them go off and be themselves again, basically.
Which is the situation they were in 2 years ago.
Before that, yeah. This is like really scary just for the team who are there and everything like that. I'm not like meaning the people of the higher ups or anything like that. I'm just meaning the dev teams who've worked on their games and everything. Like they've got 1,000 employees, man. Like that's a scary thing to think of. Like they will right now be like, I don't even know if I'm gonna have a job soon or anything like that, because eventually they could just, like I said it last week, didn't I? I said it's like, this is not going to be the only one. You're going to hear something else about something that the Embracer Group has bought and everything, and or heck, someone, or they're going to close and everything. Like, to think that Gearbox,
I think the reason they're looking to sell Gearbox is because Gearbox is probably the thing they can get the most money for.
No doubt about it. It's probably their highest profile studio that they own and everything.
And that's not a fucking good sign, because I think Gearbox is probably one of their partners or subsidiaries or whatever that probably brings in the most money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good sign if they're looking to sell them.
Yeah, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Like, it's just, again, that we said last week, it's Embracer Group has been nothing but mismanagement.
Like,
and how they handled the situation when they bought all of those studios and all the IP and everything like that, and they just absolutely hurt themselves. Hurt studios, hurt the developers, hurt everyone who's involved in all of this.
They've hit all of those for sure. But like, I think there's a broader concern here with Embracer Group and what's going on with them right now, which is how much damage have they going to, by the time the dust settles on whatever's going to happen to Embracer Group, like how much damage will they have done to the industry?
A lot.
Like, as broadly across the entire thing, like all of these studios that used to be independent or owned by Square Enix, have been bought with all of this money that they've clearly borrowed. Like, they've clearly borrowed all of this money. That's speculation on my part. Just putting it out there for legal reasons. They've borrowed all of this money to buy all of these studios, and now they can't pay the money back, which is, I'm assuming, what the $2 billion from Saudi Arabia was for. And now,
it's the most progressive country, I hear.
Yeah, sure. And now it's all going to fall apart. Do you think Embracer Group are going to get through this?
Yeah, they'll be fine. The studios they own aren't going to be.
Yeah, sure. I've seen publishers go down before. We'll see what happens.
There's always a chance. I don't deny that. I don't want to sound like I was so melancholic.
No, I'm just trying to think of...
Could fall, there's no doubt about it. And they'll take everyone with them, which is the worst case scenario. There's no doubt about that. Which sounds terrible to even think of that, because I'm just saying, well, the other scenarios that they just sell other companies, or they just close a lot of them so they can bounce the books.
That's the thing.
Neither one is great.
They could end up doing both, like, because they'll try they'll try closures and sales and mass layoffs first before they then go out of business and have a fire sale. Because I'm trying to think. I think the last time this happened was THQ, like to a scale where it was like THQ went fucking belly up. In fact, I'm pretty sure THQ is owned by Embracer Group at this point. Yeah. I guess they bought the shitty business practices that sent THQ out of business. But yeah, I remember being alive and online when that happened.
You weren't
And
alive the day before that,
and it was awful. Like to see all of this stuff and like, yeah, here we go again. Like, and maybe it won't. Hopefully, we get the best possible case scenario we can get out of this. But I think even the best possible case scenario is not going to be a positive at this point.
Nope, it is not. To all the employees out there, to all the employee staff out there who are potentially going to be losing their jobs or have lost their jobs, many studios out there are looking for amazing talent out there. So please don't fret. I know there's the pool for a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of people wanting to try and find something, but I'm sure you'll all land on your feet, and I'm praying for you all.
I agree with what he said. There was a pause.
There was. I don't know why.
I was like,
Report: Square Enix suffering from mismanagement, ad hoc dev process.
It's from Justin Carter over at GameDeveloper.com. A new report from Bloomberg claims Square Enix has lost nearly $2 billion in value after the release of Final Fantasy XVI. Following the game's release in June for PlayStation 5, its claimed shares have fallen by about 30%. The overall sales have been deemed underwhelming following its initial launch of 3 million copies sold during opening week. Further exacerbating the issue is the number of Square Enix games that have underperformed and forced the developer to change its business operations. After Forspoken's tepid release in January, for example, Square Enix remerged its subsidiary Lumious Productions back into itself. I just had a visual there. Though Square Enix has been mum on Final Fantasy XVI's sales performance since then, it hasn't given up on the game. Recently, it confirmed 2 paid DLC expansions were in the works for the title, and it would be releasing on PC in the near future. Bloomberg's report sheds a little more light on the inner workings of the developer and provides context for its recent, sometimes erratic business choices. Current and former Square Enix staff told the outlet many of the studio's issues, like releasing and killing mobile games, can be pinned on giving producers full reign of a project. For example, Naoki Yoshida is one of Final Fantasy XVI's most prominent public figures, despite only serving as its producer. Other claims have stated that projects tend to have their goals shifted without any prior warning. The infrastructure at the company is allegedly in such disarray that proper documentation and team structure can be non-existent. The end result is a developer with, quote, a high degree of volatility, end quote, of games quality-wise. And analysts talking to Bloomberg believe Square Enix can only find consistency once it fixes itself internally. Such a shift is reportedly in the works. CEO Takashi Kiryu has announced his plan to reduce the number of small games and outsourcing in order to prioritize big budget titles. Those games may turn things around, but it might also be too late. Analyst Kenji Fukuyama says, quote, the company has rested on its laurels for too long and may have already exhausted the patience of loyal fans. Even if we look 5 years ahead, there isn't much that can make investors confident about the company's future, end quote. $2 billion.
$2 billion.
And that, yeah, they lost $2 billion in value by releasing a game that's one of the best received of the year.
It's funny that.
Wow.
That is wow indeed. There's no doubt about that. It's really insane to think that, but I guess ultimately, partially what? It's like...
It didn't sell enough.
What?
It didn't sell enough. In Square Enix's case, obviously, you know, I call bullshit every time they say that, but for Square Enix's shareholders, it didn't sell enough.
Yeah, there's not about because there's only one platform, and there's not enough of that platform compared to what it is on its predecessor. And I think it is just a PS5 game, isn't it? It
currently is just a PlayStation 5 game.
Yeah, so like, of course, this was going to lose money and everything. That's why I think this is also one of the reasons why we saw Phil Spencer on their showcase a few weeks ago talking about Final Fantasy XIV's coming to the Xbox and everything like that. And that just says right now, no more deals with PlayStation, no more exclusive deals with PlayStation. At least they'll keep the ones obviously that are out there. They've already signed and everything, but now they're just like, yeah, we got to have everything on everything basically, and that's just going to be something that's going to happen all the time. Yeah, so eventually all those deals that will lapse, all those games will eventually come to Xbox and everything. Hopefully they'll start maybe bringing in a little bit of money, I guess, to try and save this company in some sort of way, or eventually it's just going to get bought. Like, I've been stating on many occasions, like, well, I've said this all the time. I've said that I think PlayStation will maybe buy this company, or heck, Microsoft still got money out there. Maybe they go out and buy.
Fucking hell. Keep going the way they go and I'll buy them. I'll be able to afford it. Fucking hell.
£1. There you go. Bing.
Keep the change. Yeah, no, just like it's another symptom of an industry that's not doing so well. I feel like we've just covered sort of like in this second part of the podcast so far, like 3 different flavors of things are going wrong in the industry. And last week we talked about the developer survey, where a lot of developers talked about the unsustainability of that they felt of their jobs and the lack of experienced talent in the industry. And like these are all there's like conditions are starting to get to a point now where it's like this is familiar. This is familiar to some research I've been doing for a video recently about 1983 when the video game industry crashed. I'm not, I'm nowhere near smart enough to figure out if that might be the case this time. But I don't know. Massive mergers and acquisitions, the disappearing like middle ground of game development, talent leaving the industry and not being replaced. Companies releasing biggest games of the year and losing money.
I think it comes to a lot of things of like, again, how much did this game cost to make? Like we heard like obviously reports of like, I know this is PlayStation and everything like that, but like Last of Us Part 2, what was like $200 million. The Horizon was what, 220 for the sequel and everything like that. And I think
we talked about that a while ago.
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of it is just like the expenses that are getting thrown into a game. I'm not saying game development isn't expensive or anything like that. You have to put money into it and everything to be able to have a chance to try and make something. But when you put in lofty loads of money into an industry that is just, and when you think, so for a lot of people, especially like for investors and everything like that, and 9 times out of 10, I'm just like, go fuck yourself, investors. At the end of the day, you do expect some money back and everything, and if you're not getting it back, I was thinking, I'm not gonna lie, that's all on you guys, but it's also on the company of this, like, yo, we need to spend $300 million to make Final Fantasy 16. I'm not saying that was the number. I'm just paraphrasing. I'm just throwing a ballpark out there. Example, basically, yeah. And if that's what it was, it's like, no wonder you didn't fucking make money. Especially you're taking into consideration of that. You're exclusive on one platform. What, yes, has a lot of platforms out there, but not a lot compared to what its predecessors was. Not a lot if you decided to say, no, we're going to be on everything. Or what can run it? Sorry, Nintendo Switch. You probably would have died. But you know what I mean? And it's like, it's a fine element. So obviously the money they got from PlayStation to do this exclusive deal was not enough to be able to say, okay, we're okay with this type of thing, And yeah.
But the ballooning development costs feed back into the sustainability, right? Like when Embracer Group, just to like completely like mix all of these stories together, when Embracer Group were in the midst of their buying spree, I think it was when I think we had this discussion when they bought the Square Enix studios and they got the Deus Ex, Tomb Raider, and those IPs, and the immediate the hype cycle began of everybody saying, "Wow, they're gonna make Deus Ex and Tomb Raider." And I think my initial question when we talked about it was, with what money? Those studios that they've bought aren't really bringing in any money. So like, where are they getting the money for a development budget for a new Deus Ex and a new Tomb Raider? And it's the same here. It's like the runaway costs of game development can't be subsidized by continuously upping the prices of games, because eventually like you're gonna hit the apex of that and gonna start coming down the other side of fewer and fewer people are going to be able to afford to buy many games. There are so many different games out right now that like, even just like to use this anecdotally, it's like me and Moody are talking about games that we're going to buy and play. And we're talking about skipping games that we've been super excited to play because there's just not enough time or money to play them.
Yeah, there's that as well. But also, it's like, it's insane to think that the video game industry is literally going through the same thing that the movie industry is going through right now. Like, the movie industry have extraordinary bloated budgets for a lot of their films, Disney, and it's slapped them in the face and they've lost money. Like, Disney are reported right now have lost about $1 billion, if not more, on over the summer period and everything. And it's like, yo, you deserve it at the end of the day. Pay those writers and actors, please. Go away, Flash.
Shout out to the VFX union.
Oh yeah, shout out to them as well. Yeah, and yeah, so it's like, it's a whole thing. It's shit on and shit on and shit, and like, it also like Square Enix have got to realize one thing. It's like, or these just everybody. Not everybody is. I can't even want to say this team, but not everyone's EA, where you can fork out an IP which is the same over and over again and be able to recoup your costs.
Well, yeah. So that's mentioned at the bottom of this article, isn't it? Where it's like the CEO of Square Enix is talking about refocusing on its biggest budget stuff, its big titles, right? So it's going to play it safe. That'll work for a while. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to come out. It's going to do really well. So is Part 3. But like, if you stop taking risks in a creative industry, players are going to get bored.
I wish that was true when it came to EA.
Well, you know what? Football fans are an entirely different breed. But look at Microsoft, right? Microsoft tried to survive for so long on a continuous cycle of Halo, Forza, and Gears. And look where it got them.
Only one is alive still.
Yeah, it got them nowhere. Eventually. Like, Square Enix need to realize that if they just keep trying to survive on Final Fantasy, it'll work in the short term. It'll not get you very far.
The thing is, though, they would argue back, say, we have tried and everything like that. Yeah, but the worst thing is you've expected too larger of a return on those games.
Well, yeah,
Guardians of the Galaxy, the Tomb Raider franchise, Deus Ex. There's other ones as well out there, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like, you expect, like, if you as a company expect games like Deus Ex, Tomb Raider, and Guardians of the Galaxy to do as well as fucking Final Fantasy, it's not going to happen. Like, if you hedge your bets in that direction, of course you're going to be disappointed. Avengers is the only one I can say, like, they were right to be disappointed by the performance of that game.
Oh, fuck yes. Yeah, no doubt about that. But it's also, it's like I was saying, it's like, not everyone's EA, not everyone's Call of Duty, not everyone is bloody... my brain literally had the Fortnite, you know what I mean? Not everyone's that. It's just like, you think you can do that. You can, like, I can appreciate you all want the same amount of money, but there's not enough money out there, people. Play in your ballpark with the right amount of budget, with a great script, with a great team to bring an amazing game to life, and you will reap the rewards. I truly believe that. But have the right amount of budget here. Don't go say, we need to throw fucking $10 billion into this game and I'm going to get 20 billion back or 30 billion back. No, that's not how the Force works, people.
Yeah. No, you're completely right. And I think part of the problem comes down to the way just development cycles are in general, where it's like, From Software just released Armored Core 6, right? From Software at this point are one of the most well-regarded development studios in the games industry. But like, they weren't always. They weren't always. They had to build that over time. They had to build that trust over time. Demon's Souls, when it came out on PS3, most people didn't play it. They thought it was fucking weird. They thought it was this weird RPG, and that was too hard, and a lot of people didn't like it. But they kept building on it to the point where you get to Elden Ring, which is like universally fucking beloved at this point. But some of us were there in the beginning. Not me. I wasn't.
Dark times.
I wasn't.
Before the Empire.
I wasn't. I just wanted to make those people feel represented. I only jumped in a few years ago. But
yeah, Bloodborne.
And not even when it came out, 5 years later. But
During the great times.
during the really dark times when I was bored and it was lockdown. But yeah, no, like there's I don't know, there's the industry is sick, and there's a lot of reasons for it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of those reasons are starting to become a lot more exposed this year.
No doubt about it. Like, you can earn your money, but you also got to realize is that you're throwing out a budget of disgusting magicoods. It's not even a word, anybody, you know what I mean? It's not possible anymore. It isn't. The industry has literally changed within the 2 years of the pandemic, where you made record profits because nobody was going outside.
Right.
But people are now going back outside. Mm-hmm. Funnily enough,
Well,
COVID's going back up a little bit more, but
there were no films, there were no new TV shows for a while, like apart from a few that had already been completed. Like, people couldn't go out. People turned to video games. And, you know, that's why Animal Crossing New Horizons
blew up.
Again, like I've said multiple times on this podcast, I doubt the next one's going to sell as much as the previous one.
But I guarantee you, that one's still probably 4 years away.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Nintendo knew what they had, and yes, they didn't, no doubt about it, they did not expect the pandemic and everything to...
They didn't expect Animal Crossing to be as big as it was.
Yeah, but, like, they could have literally said, we need the next one out in 2 years' time so we can continue this. Yeah. But they haven't.
Well, and again, it goes to this sort of theme of like a lot of different problems are being exposed all at once. That goes to a discussion we've been having for the last few weeks, which is just like, yeah, because Nintendo don't milk their franchises. It's why Zelda's still Zelda 35 years later.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that. Like, and I think for the most part, PlayStation kind of balance it pretty well as well. Even though they have like sequeled it the last few games and everything, but those games have been pretty good still. But yeah, it's like we don't know what Naughty Dog's doing next. Like, we don't know what their new IP is. We don't know anything like that. Like, it's like, but they're doing it really well. Like, you know, it's like, but. And Microsoft are slowly getting there and everything like that. Like Starfield, like right now, a lot of people are loving it. And I'm so happy for them. And I'm looking forward to everyone who's going to come out with Forza. And I'm looking forward to the future of next year for them and whatnot. It's just like, it doesn't mean you have to get the next one out in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
With a bigger budget.
It's Starfield, but I don't know. There's like 50 extra planets in it.
Yeah, like come on, we all know the next Elder Scrolls. That's not until 2030. We know this. Come on, be frank here. We all know this, and you're going to be fine with that, people.
Yeah, I mean, I am.
Skyrim will be released again during that time.
I'll definitely be fine with that. Like, whatever. You know, do what you want.
All right, last one. Go on. Don't know why this is important.
No, we can just move on to what's happening next week if you want.
Cool. I didn't want to talk about that one. I didn't understand why it was important. Cool. Let's move on. What's happening next week?
No more Joy-Con drift. I don't know what is happening next weekend. It's the thing where you know what? I'm not explaining the concept of drift. What's happening next week? I'm streaming. I'm not streaming this Friday, which is going to matter to any of you because this podcast would have probably come out after I was streaming anyway. I'm taking a week off, and then I'll be back the week after. Joy-Con
finished Bramble, and now she's done.
Yeah. No, I'm retiring again. No, I just got some stuff on Friday night, so I decided just to take the night to myself. Or like take the night away from streaming, I guess, rather than try and like fit it in.
Oh yeah, take time, chill, enjoy your...
That's cool though.
Because you're still off, aren't you?
Fuck no.
I thought you were. My apologies.
I wish.
I wish. You've been quiet. You've been back at work.
Just quiet in general.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like you don't see my message until 5 hours later. So.
Well, look, I didn't see your notification. All right, fucking hell. You've used that line on me 1,000,000 times, and I believed you every single time because, like the video game industry, mobile apps are apparently falling to pieces as well. But, I'll be doing that. What will I be streaming? I've been thinking about streaming that new Amnesia game that came out over the summer. I feel like that will be a really entertaining treat for everybody who's not me.
Cool.
I feel like it'll be torture for me.
Didn't realize there was a game out.
Yeah, I downloaded it on your Xbox when I was down at yours, and then I never played it because I did the Lies of P demo instead.
Nice.
Very scary game, supposedly.
I won't be touching it, so I'm okay.
No, you can come and watch me play it. That's what I'm saying. It's a treat for everybody. You get to watch me play a scary game.
Scream?
Yeah. I'm very entertaining when I play scary games, so I've heard.
You are. There's no doubt about that. Or you just get angry at them, like you did with Resi 3.
It's because it was a bad game, really.
Yeah. Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree.
It wasn't a bad game. I just didn't like it. That's the difference.
That's true.
What else is happening next week? Tokyo Game Show.
Is it?
Thursday, September 21st to Sunday, September 24th.
So Persona 6 finally getting announced.
No. Okay. I said someone dropped a report that Persona 6 might not be coming out for another 3 years. This is the rumor at the moment.
Next year anyway. I
want to play it though.
Did it come from Jeff Grubb? Did Jeff Grubb say this?
No,
Oh.
Jeff Grubb did not say this.
So that means it's got some validity then, because Jeff Grubb didn't say it. I mean, this is true, right? That's how the Force works, right?
No, that's not how the Force works. Haven't seen a lot of those articles popping up recently. Actually,
What, Jeff Grubb?
Jeff Grubb says such and such.
Because he heard you, and he was like, "I'm staying on."
Oh shit, she looks crazy. But yeah, no, Tokyo Game Show. Xbox is doing some stuff there. Atlas and Sega are doing some stuff there. I don't think PlayStation.
Oh, Atlas have got that new game, haven't they? The new one that they showed at Xbox, I believe.
Well, they've got Persona 5 Tactica.
We're all like, wait.
And then that other one.
Is this the new Persona?
Yeah, it was the not Persona.
Well,
they showed 3 games there, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They showed Persona and that. Not
Persona.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's some stuff happening. It seems quite interesting. Tokyo Game Show is always quite cool. The focus tends to not be on Western AAA games, which I feel like
surprise.
No, yeah, but it's nice because I feel like all of Jeff Keighley's shows generally tend to focus on Western AAA games, so it's a nice sort of like difference.
It's because it's the only ones who will speak to him.
Yeah.
He speaks to Kojima, and he went, "Is anyone you know who has created a game that they want to talk about? Also, can one of them be a woman, please? Because I'm getting shouted at again.
Please." Everybody got mad at me, Hideo. I'm just imagining a tearful conversation on the phone. Hideo, it's not fair. Just because I didn't know any women. Everybody's getting mad at me on the internet, Hideo.
It's like they don't realize I don't think I'm good looking, so that's why the women don't come near me. It's my ego; it's too big.
It was just because I made some boilerplate statement about a piece in the industry, and then showed a Quantum Dream game straight after it. Hideo, they all got mad. I can make this bit go on for a long time. Jeff Keighley sucks. I'm just saying.
She's really good. But what else is coming out next week?
Lies of P and Mortal Kombat 1 are both coming out.
I'm curious about this. Are you going to try Lies of P? Because after you played that demo here, you're like, I am failing this.
They have apparently tightened up the gameplay. I was reading about it. Because obviously the reviews are out for Lies of P.
Are they?
Yes. Yeah, the reviews came out. Yeah.
So everyone was dropping reviews a week before they're meant to fucking come out.
Apparently.
Oh wow, yeah, E3.
But yeah, no. Apparently they've tightened up the demo. Am I gonna play it? No, I'm playing Sea of Stars.
Yeah, I'm hoping to hope my aim is to wrap that up this weekend.
We'll see about that. For me, I mean, not for you. Not like I'm going to break into your house and be like, we'll see about that, Moody.
We'll see about this, Moody. We'll see about this. Not play Bloodborne, what you said you were always going to do.
Did you?
I don't know. No, what you said I would do.
That would be funny. Yeah. No, that'd be good if you played Bloodborne.
No, it wouldn't.
It'd be entertaining. I made Keith played Dark Souls as part of a charity stream once.
Yeah, but Keith was meant to be a D&D guy for me, and he just went, fuck you, so...
He didn't like it very much.
Yeah. Cleve doesn't like me, so sorry.
But you know what? That was probably our most popular part of the charity stream was people watching him play Dark Souls for the first time.
Cool. We are going to have to discuss about a charity stream. There's no doubt. Like, we haven't spoken about it.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have to figure something out at some point. It'll probably be a New Year's thing, maybe. I would have thought at this point, given that it's September. But we should definitely figure out something to do for charity. That's not Moody loses his mind playing Halo. Again.
Oh, they fixed it in number 4. They had a
You lost your mind playing Halo. You didn't like it. And I felt bad because the whole thing was like, oh, well, we've got to keep going because we said we would, and people have given us money. So next time, we'll figure something. I mean, to be fair, if we'd done it,
Telltale, all The Walking Dead.
If we'd done it the way we said we were going to do it, like people in a space, take physical space together with like all 4 of us, it would have been fine. But COVID really fucked us.
Oh yeah, fucked a lot of us.
On that regard. But yeah, no, it'd be nice to do like a proper charity stream in a physical space with a group of people because I miss that. They're so much fun.
Yeah, could do something like I've got all the space in the world, so
yeah. Maybe we can like just see who's available to like descend on your place because I'm thinking like not just like Keith and Ross. I'm thinking like all of our like friends who have been on this podcast, and I'm thinking you're a lot more central, than I am.
So yeah, I guess kind of am. I guess.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we can make a Words About Games Fest.
Maybe. Not everyone can stay at my place, just so you know, guys. Like,
I only
have so much space.
We'll figure something out.
And I've got a dog who might piddle all over you.
We'll figure something out.
Like, I'm expecting to go in the living room, and I'm going to expect to see something. And I know I am.
Poop everywhere.
Probably, yeah. She's not allowed.
Are you going to play Mortal Kombat 1? Because I know you're a fighting game person. You are.
No one said that.
You play fighting games.
Both of us, I guess I am.
You play fighting games. I don't know how else to say it.
Fighting game. You make up. I'm the fighting game person. I'm like the awesome fighting game person. I'm not.
I never said awesome.
That's true. Well, you could have. Jesus, man. I'm trying to help. But no, yes, I will be playing this. Probably just a story, but yes, I will be playing this.
Cool. Well, enjoy.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed the last one. The story was bonkers. In a good way. This is like,
I've heard the stories in Mortal Kombat games, so interesting.
The last one was the most anime it's ever been, and that's saying a lot.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. More things need to be more anime. That's what I forgot about. That Spy X Family game that got revealed at the Nintendo Direct.
Oh god, yeah, I forgot about that.
I was like, wait, I recognize this. Oh, I've seen this anime. I can't say that about a lot of them. Anyway, let's play OpenCritic Head-To-Head, shall we?
Shall we?
Shall we?
We shall indeed.
Shall we? Yes, we shall.
Fuck off! It got that score? No way.
I know, right? I just typed them in while we were talking there. This is the game we play every week where we guess the OpenCritic average of upcoming games. Whoever guesses closest to the score gets a point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last week we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of 2 games. The first one was Gunbrella. That's also an umbrella. I guessed it would get an 82. Mooney guessed it would get a 79. At the time of recording, Gunbrella has an OpenCritic average of 83, which means Amy gets a point. But we also tried to guess the OpenCritic average of the Crew Motorfest. I guessed it would get a 70. Mooney guessed it would get a 69. At the time of recording, the Crew Motorfest has an OpenCritic average of 84.
Didn't see that coming.
Didn't see that coming one bit, no.
Well done to the team. Congrats. Congrats to the team for Gunbrella as well.
Hell yeah. Both of them just checked it now. Yeah, they're both good games. Check them out if they're your kind of thing. I think Motorfest is their attempt at being more like Forza Horizon, from what I've seen, the limited amount I've seen of people talking about this. Not limited because I don't really know many people who play driving games. Like my connection to fighting games is Moody. My connection to driving games is pretty much just Fitz. All right, so the scores currently are Amy 29, Moody 23, Fitz 1, and 2 draws. This week we're going to guess the OpenCritic average of 2 more upcoming games, not Mortal Kombat apparently. Thanks, reviewers. We're going to guess the OpenCritic average for starters of Party Animals. It's been on Kind of Funny apparently. I don't know. It's a multiplayer
And
game.
they obviously set the bar of what games we do for OpenCritic.
Hey, listen, right? You are under no circumstances ever allowed to complain about the games we do on OpenCritic. For years, you wanted me to do more games in OpenCritic Head-To-Head. Well, this is the result. Sometimes we're going to do games that that we've neither of us know anything about. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
I'll complain anytime I bloody want.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
No, I wasn't complaining about what the game. I was complaining that
It's in Vitz's fan.
Kind of Funny talked about it. That means we have to do open head-to-head for it.
It's in Vitz. Well, if you let me fucking finish, it's in Vitz's fantasy critic team.
I would accept that as a fucking reason more than Kind of Funny.
And the only thing I know about it is it Kind of Funny talked about it once because Vitz told me. So, there you go.
Shut it.
69. That's my guess. I really don't know. Nope, that's not a 9. That's not a 9. That's a 9. I can't see my keyboard.
80.
80. And then, lastly, the OpenCritic average of Payday 3. Just coming in Game Pass.
That's interesting.
I've played Payday 2 before. I can't find my mouse cursor. There it is. Payday 3, 75. This is in someone's fantasy critic team, but I forget who.
Yeah.
Oh, fun fact. Keith filled his team out.
I've seen. I have seen. Congratulations, Phil. Congratulations.
Phil?
Fairwald.
I was like, Phil doesn't play fantasy critic.
I thought I said Fairwald. My apologies there.
You might have done. I might have just misheard you.
Yeah. What number did you say?
75.
It's 76.
76. We're done. We did it. We survived another podcast.
Yay. Interesting picks, Keith. Interesting picks.
What did he pick? One of them.
The Legend of Natura, Boundless Trails, Payday 3, Detective Pikachu Returns, Helldivers 2,
Slay the Princess.
Slay the Princess.
Yeah. Really looking forward to that game.
I've got 3 games that fucking got pushed.
The fact that Keith picked Slay the Princess in Fantasy Critic leads me to believe he does listen to this podcast.
Well, clearly he doesn't, because we would have had a D&D tournament game by now. But, well... Keith. Yeah.
That's going to do it for episode
That's
369 of the Words About Games podcast.
Hallelujah.
Just sing hallelujah like you. Get in. Don't have to talk to her anymore.
I like talking to you, you know that.
True. But you got to go and clean up some poop out of your living room.
Probably, yeah. I'm hoping not.
No.
I'm hoping not.
Me too.
But we'll see. We'll see how she feels. We'll see.
Probably
Like, I
just
threw a
bite.
toy in there. I threw a toy in there and just shut the door. And it's like, oh, okay, there you go. That toy will distract her. Yeah, so like, go fetch.
It just turns around as you're closing the door. You betrayed me, father.
Red eyes. I will get my own back. And then just turned around and went, I got my own back.
That'll do it.
Well, that's it, everybody. The day is done. The episode is done. So Friday is here. So go and have an awesome weekend. And as always, tell someone you love them. Give your family a hug. And just have an awesome day. Because why? You're awesome. And you deserve to be awesome. And you just have an awesome weekend.
Stifling a yawn. Sorry, I didn't want to be rude and yawn while you were saying that, but I was...
Without saying anything, you were just rude and just ruined the moment.
No.
Time
I realized I'd pulled a face. I had to explain the face. I try my best. I try my best to make it not noticeable, but I was like, if I look down, it's still noticeable. Just... I haven't even seen the top of my head. Thanks very much for joining us, Mooney.
Like,
see you later, everybody.
Peace out.
Peace out.